What's up, guys? It's Lord Botha here with another video, and every year we get the same thing. There's a slew of Christmas movies that are released that try to both make a bunch of money off of Christmas and also try to ingrain themselves into the culture of Christmas and the Christmas spirit so they become holiday classics. And I gotta say, the last movie I can really think of doing that was maybe Elf in the early 2000s. But since then, no other movie has really ever done that. No other movie has really become a holiday classic, really, while also making a lot of money at the box office, specifically relying on Christmas being a selling point. Well, I'm here to tell you today that that narrative is still completely true, because Hollywood's Red One is an absolute disaster at the box office. This comes to us from Variety. Box office Red One has itself a fairly little opening day with $10.9 million. The article states it's beginning to look a lot like $30 million for the opening weekend of Dwayne Johnson and Chris Evans' mega-budget Christmas actioner Red One, coming in on the shorter side of projections. The Amazon Studios feature unwrapped $10.9 million from the 4,032 theaters across opening day and preview screenings in North America. So over 4,000 theaters played this thing, and they only made $10.9 million. That's not great. It's not the worst numbers I've seen this year, but then again, this year had a whole slew of horrific films that did terrible at the box office, like set records terrible. So when you take that comparison out, yeah, this is pretty bad. And returns on this movie, you think, oh, maybe they'll actually get more returns as we go along towards the holiday season. Maybe will actually be a slow burner, just like something like Beetlejuice over the spooky season. The difference is that Beetlejuice had that nostalgia from the first film that a lot of people were going off of and going to see because it had been decades since the first film, and they were interested to see what was going to be done with the IP. And also, if we're going to be honest, the spooky season from essentially September all the way through Halloween is just 2 straight months of straight spooky season, of straight Halloween season. However, holiday season, which you could say is kind of November 1st all the way through New Year's, right? Well, there's this little holiday called Thanksgiving in between here in the US. And for a lot of people in the US, Christmas doesn't really start until after Thanksgiving. This film released 2 weeks before Thanksgiving. So basically, to put it this way, you can't really slow burn Christmas movies. It has to be something really special, really connecting with families and younger audiences as well, I think, to be able to do that. And a Christmas action movie about a buff Santa being kidnapped and them doing action stunts to try to go save him between Chris Evans and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is not something that's going to connect with audiences like that and slow burn over the entire holiday season. The article continues, that's not exactly a jolly result for a special effects adventure playing premium large format auditoriums and sporting a whopping $250 million production budget plus sizable marketing costs. $250 million on a Christmas action movie that was made by Amazon. Listen, I get that Amazon has money to burn apparently on their passion project of making movies and television. I mean, they spent $1 billion on Rings of Power, which the vast majority of the audience didn't finish watching the first season of. So who cares if they spend $250 million on some Christmas movie that bombs? But again, this is just obvious to point out, this film is going to be a loss for them. There's no way that they're going to make up $250 million in costs plus the marketing costs, not on a $30 million opening weekend. It's just not something that's possible. The article continues, unless the $7 production can stay relevant among the blitz of Wicked, Gladiator 2, and Moana 2 arriving ahead of Thanksgiving holiday, it seems unlikely that Red One will see green in its theatrical run. Which again, that's correct. We got a whole slew of movies that are supposed to release ahead of Thanksgiving. and they're supposed to be big budget blockbuster films. Wicked, I think, is going to do immensely well, especially with female audiences, especially here in the United States. That's despite some of the controversies it's had around it. Gladiator 2, I think, will also do surprisingly well. Even though Gladiator 2, I think, is firmly in the Napoleon-style category of Ridley Scott's films, where clearly the chef in the kitchen, shall we say, is past his prime in cooking, and we're paying for the name on the restaurant rather than actually paying for the food that we're getting. But the point is here is that this movie is clearly not going to make its budget back. It's clearly going to be a loss, and this is going to be yet another L in the column for Amazon, as they've already taken massive L's with things like The Rings of Power, which I've talked about before. And yes, like I said, their pockets are deep, but we have to start asking the question, how many L's are they going to compound? How many times are they going to fail over and over and over making their own content before they stop and reevaluate that, hey, maybe some of the stuff that we're making, because some of the stuff Amazon has made is actually fairly good, but a lot of it has been absolute trash. And that absolute trash has been some of the more expensive things that they've created. And they got to stop and think, how do we fix this? Will they actually do that though? I highly doubt it, but we'll see after this. But that's just my thoughts on all this. If you have your own thoughts, go and leave them in the comments. If you like this video, go and like, share, and subscribe. If you didn't like this video, appreciate you watching all of it. We'll talk to you again later.